Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you all for coming and enjoying your lunch. Again, if you haven't grabbed something, please feel free to help yourself. We try to order extra for folks that may have missed the registration deadline. No worries, we're still going to feed you. We promise that during orientation, we're going to hold true. Yeah. So I want to thank you all for coming. Yeah. So today, what we hope to cover in 15 to 20 minutes, we have a quick presentation for you. And then afterwards, we're going to actually open it up and have you meet with our service learning leaders to kind of go over specifics of their own program and what they're going to be doing for this year. Sound like a plan? Yes, cool. Yeah, energy. Woo. All right. So my name is Armando Martinez. I'm the Assistant Director for the Center for Civic Engagement. To my left, I have
Noblehour, Director of the Center for Civic Engagement. Mickey Chambers, Director of Multicultural Affairs. We collaborate a lot, so that's why she's here.
And additionally, as you can see in the title, future Dr. Stewart has successfully defended her dissertation, so she is an official PhD candidate. Yep. So let's jump right in. Yeah, so I have a quick video for you. I'm gonna cue this up.
One of the first things that got me into medicine was when one of my teachers in high school signed me up for a program where I got to go to a college campus during the weekends, and there I got to choose certain classes I could take. And one of the classes I took was how to dissect a cow heart. And when I did that, it was like one of the coolest, most amazing things I've done to date.
Growing up, I didn't really see many figures that looked like me that were in medicine, but one figure that did, in a sense, inspire me to go into medicine is my pediatrician, Dr. R.O.T.O. I owe a lot to her, not only seeing her example and giving me the adequate care, but her telling me that anything is possible, and if I wanted to pursue medicine, I could do it.
So for me, my mom was a pediatrician, and so I had mentorship from an early age. And also I grew up on an island called Grenada, and so all my leaders surrounded me were West Indian, and so I always had this notion behind me that I could do anything I wanted just because I had that representation from birth.
It was in high school when my chemistry teacher looked at me and said, "I would want you to be my doctor." And I thought, wow, she sees what I know to be true, and I can do this.
When I went to science class, we would do some cool experiment that made learning seem like more fun. And combining that with my extracurricular activities like Girl Scouts or after school programs, and my mom would work super late, I started being exposed to mentors or figures who volunteered to work with us as young kids, but also had affluent jobs in the medical field.
Prior to medical school, I partook in a program that exposed me to a group of individuals in the healthcare field that allowed me to get to where I am today. And they continue to serve as significant individuals in my life. And I think that this is an opportunity that others should have access to.
It is so important to have a mentor. Unfortunately, all of us do not have the same story. I remember specifically searching for a mentor because I was unable to find anyone in medicine that looked like me, that has been through the similar experiences that I've been through, and it was really a struggle. Oftentimes we're stuck in positions where it ends up being the blind leading the blind, and we have to use our passion and our hunger to drive us to places that we want to be. Here in Syracuse, about 1/3 of residents live below the federal poverty line. As you can imagine, a lot of these children have issues with access as well as mentorship.
Syracuse currently has a 16.5% dropout rate compared to the 6% dropout rate of New York State. This is very indicative of the lack of educational resources that our environment provides, and I think we need to bridge that gap.
85% of incarcerated youth come from the SC, the Syracuse City School District. 96% of the kids that are actually in the SCSD, the Syracuse City School District, go to underperforming schools. So you can see from there the school to prison pipeline, where underperforming schools are not giving people the adequate skills to be able to succeed academically, and they become significantly disadvantaged, and actually that makes them vulnerable to go to jail and not pursue their goals and aspirations.
Despite all of these barriers and obstacles, the real question comes as, what can we do? What can we really do to change the current situation?
Yes, I think there's a lot we can do. In the class of 2020 of Upstate, there are only 2 students who are actually from the Syracuse School District. 2 students out of 160. Upstate is in Syracuse. There should be more of Syracuse students in Upstate. And I think that is how this whole dream of Zonta House started. We realized that we didn't show up at Upstate by accident. It was very intentional, it was purposeful. And if we wanted more students from Syracuse to be here, it has to be very intentional. It has to start early. It has to be purposeful. And so Malcolm and I, one afternoon in November, sat down to draw up a program as to how can we change this dynamic.
When we started the conversation, they expressed the interest on how the kids, change the minds of the kids through their experiments and through the science and fun activities to fall in love with medicine. So I'm very happy. It's a collaboration of the doctors, students, and Upstate. Not only they collaborating on doing science, they also are mentors. This is like a transformation of a child, behavior changing, like attitudes changing because they fall in love with science and learning, So you guys, Upstate Medical, have to teach our kids to have fun while you learn, and everything is possible.
So here we have a really cool experiment. We're using baking soda here as a base and vinegar here as an acid. So what we're going to do is we're going to add baking soda to the balloon. We're going to add our vinegar to the water bottle, and then we're going to put the balloon on top and allow the baking soda and the vinegar, our acid and our base, to give off carbon dioxide, which will make the balloon expand like it is now.
I like the fun activities and we get to play. When I grow up, I want to be a scientist.
I think the girls are so excited to see somebody that looks like them, talks like them, and it is very important that they know that if they really want it, they can become a doctors too. I think that the limit is the sky. They can do whatever they want. When we start talking about the program, we have such a great expectations, and they have fulfilled all those expectations. They are awesome and they do a great job, and we are very, very excited with the continue of this partnership.
I like that we actually learn stuff but have fun at the same time. When I grow up, I might want to be a doctor.
The reason why we show this video, one is because it gives a brief overview of the city of Syracuse and the needs. And also the Zonta House or the R.O.T.O program is one of our premier programs that we have here. It was started by students, and it kind of encapsulates everything that we hope to do here with all of our programs, right? So to give you a brief recap, right, for those of you that might have attended our orientation session, the mission for our office is we want to essentially promote active citizenship and social responsibility. We also want to have all of our students, faculty and staff engaged in community engaged based learning, right? And so by doing this, or the way that we are able to accomplish this, is by going out, connecting with community partners, and basically breeding and growing that relationship, right? As it reads, harnessing the university's diverse academic resources and expertise, we provide service opportunities for the entire community, and we hope to contribute to a stronger, healthier community with a more engaged university. Does that make sense? I like to paraphrase a lot, so please forgive me if it's not word for word verbatim what's on the screen. Our priority areas, right? Obviously, there's a lot of need and a lot of help, but we can't do everything here at Upstate. So these are what we focus on for the most part. So we look at access to appropriate care. Recently, there's been an influx and need for COVID-19, especially within the hospital. So a lot of our opportunities have kind of been engaged in circling around those things. Health education. We're looking to improve literacy, both at the student level with young students and also some adults, infant mortality, mental health, poverty, substance abuse, violence prevention, And those are our key facets, right? And all of those were essentially decided upon after we did a community health assessment here in Syracuse to figure out where we wanted to kind of focus on the most, right? And as you can see, these social and economic factors weigh in about 40%. And so that's our drive, right? We wanted to make sure that we were kind of hitting the mark there. Does that make sense? Yeah? Any questions? Feeling good? Feeling great? Food's good? Okay, all right, just making sure we're still here, yeah? All right. As I mentioned earlier, we have service learning leadership program, right? So those are all the fancy folks that are around you wearing the blue shirts. This is these students have gone through an application process. They are leading most of the efforts with our community partners, and they're doing it through a course, right? It's an 8-month commitment for them. And typically, if you're interested, the way it works out is all of you might sign up for an opportunity, you might volunteer, you might become really passionate about that. You can then apply to become a service learning leader yourself. Yeah. Typically, we have students that are in their second year of their educational experience because at this point you've had at least 1 year to kind of get acclimated to the city, acclimated to the programs, and also kind of have a better understanding of your own academic needs. Yeah. We ask for those students to also have participated in CCAE sponsored program, and you also have to enroll in the course in order to be a service learning leader. Now, you don't have to be a service learning leader to volunteer, but you do have to be a service learning leader in order to lead that program. Does that make sense? So there's no commitment for the most part with our individual opportunities as a volunteer, but if you're looking to take on a strong leadership role, this is the course for you. Yeah. Also, just important to know that what comes with that course, obviously you'll have didactic and group debriefing sessions. You'll have to report and coordinate student volunteers. You'll be the liaison between our office and our community partners. And you'll also assist with demonstrating and doing an impact assessment for the year, right? And so you kind of give the knowledge, expertise, and evaluation skills in determining how to work with the program. Also, our two friends over there, they are the course instructors, right? So Nikia Chambers and Simone Stewart, they lead the course. They will walk you through that. So if you have any questions about the course itself, you can go to them. SLLs, you can go to either Simone or myself. Yeah? Thumbs up? We see? Cool. All right. So for our signature programs, right, they pretty much break down into 4 different groups. We have patient navigation, mentoring, health and wellness, and respite and companionship. For our patient navigation, we have the Helping Hands for Forgotten Feet, our Rama Clinic, and our patient experience rounds. Now, or the peace survey, yeah, that's what they'll be titled in the back. I don't want to say too much, but those 3 programs are here today, so you can ask them more information about what it is that they do and what they have planned for this year. So I won't spill the beans. I'll let y'all have y'all spiel. Yes? Cool. All right. For mentoring, we have our METS program, we have our R.O.T.O program, and we have our RISE program. Now, unfortunately, R.O.T.O could not be here with us today. So just to give you a brief overview, that is through the WYCA. And essentially what they do is they meet bi-monthly, if I'm not mistaken, and they do science experiments with the girls and Girls Inc. through that program, right? So this is an all girl programs, after school program, and I believe they've been meeting bi-monthly. Currently, we're trying to figure out whether we're going to continue onto a hybrid or doing everything in person. I think the site really wants to move in person, but with the Delta variant, we're not too sure. So we'll have to revisit that. But if you are interested, their table is still set up back there. You can sign your name and we'll pass along your information to those SLLs and they can get in contact with you. Cool. For our health and wellness, we had EHAM, Women Heal, and our Upstate Community Garden, followed by Refugee Health Literacy. Now, as I mentioned before, COVID has put us in some trying times, and so some of our programs have had to take a pause. So if you're interested in some of these programs, I would encourage you to reach out to myself, and I can get you in touch with who we need to get in touch with. Currently, due to EHAM, their participation is low, and so we're kind of holding off that opportunity until the spring. And so if you're interested, EHAM stands for, there we go. Can you say that out? Yes, perfect. So, you know, you'll be working with young mothers that are currently transitioning and just trying to they're looking for extra support. The Women Heal program, again, that's kind of been put on hold. We haven't been able to get in contact with the organizers, but we're always striving to get those things off the ground. Our Upstate Community Garden is here. I'll let them speak for themselves, and our Refugee Health Literacy program is also here as well, and so they can kind of give you more information on what they have planned, which are also connected through the Refugee Health Interest Group, correct? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, see, it's quiz for me. If you're looking for respite and companionship, currently what we have is Peds Relief. We're always looking to add in and do more, but this is the one program that we've been able to keep track with. I think the other ones, Jerry Care and Pete's Pals, has been kind of placed on hold until further notice. Also, we have many other volunteer opportunities. So while these are our signature opportunities, it doesn't mean that that's the only things that we do, right? And so we actually have our Office of Volunteer Programs, the downtown campus, are here with us today. They have their other volunteer opportunities with the, I'm not gonna mess that name up. I'll let you go to them. They're standing right in the back. They're really fancy. We also have our Reading Buddies program that's gonna be coming up pretty soon as well. So for folks that are interested in helping out with child literacy, this could be a program for you as well. And again, part of what I do with Simone is we go out into the community to find more opportunities, right? So like Asita, they're very interested in getting some science-based organizations or projects going. They also have a bilingual library. Pete's Pals, that one has been done away with until further notice. We're looking to partner up with the Boys and Girls Club of Syracuse and a few other opportunities within the community, right? So we're always looking to expand and add more, just to, you know, diversify what it is that you all have for passion and interest. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? I know I'm moving at the speed of light, but I really want you to talk to the experts or the folks that are back there. Yeah, because they'll have way more information than I will, as opposed in terms of like what's going on for this year. So being that we're all Upstate students and you are representing us every time you go out to the community, we do have expectations. Part of that expectation is one that you'll wear your Upstate ID and your CCE shirt. So we do give you shirts for being volunteers. You're more than welcome to wear those when you go out, unless you're otherwise told not to by the actual site, right? We want you to be able to represent the university, especially on good standing, right? So we want you to follow your professional code of conduct. Be professional at all times, be courteous, be kind, and be mindful of the space that you're taking when you're out within the community. Also, no pictures unless you have written permission. We do have forms available in the office, but I know sometimes folks want to take pictures to add to social media accounts and stuff like that. Completely understand, but again, we want to make sure that we're getting consent at all times. That makes sense? Yeah. And then lastly, we want to just promote a positive and inclusive environment for all students, right? And so we do have all 4 colleges here represented. So some of our opportunities are interprofessional in that kind of sense. Some just happen to work out better for a particular college based on the schedule. But we do ask for you to be mindful and recognize that you could be working with folks with different experiences. We want to try to make them feel welcome at all times. Yeah, cool. And the big thing, as you're volunteering, we ask that you please submit your hours into Noblehour within 60 days of that volunteering experience. Otherwise, we may not be able to honor approving those hours. Now, I'll circle back to the Noblehour bit. We also have our COVID-19 guidelines and requirements. So as you're going out to volunteer, you also will have to complete an appointment letter. These are for opportunities that are happening outside of the university. For those that are happening inside, there are some exceptions, but we will let you know when and where you would need your appointment letter. For right now, let's just operate under the assumption that if you're volunteering, you have to fill this out in order to volunteer at any of our sites. Yes? Cool. Next, if you are to volunteer in person, we ask that again, you adhere to COVID-19 protocols that the site has in addition to what we have here. So masks will be required. Even though your site may not require masks, we're gonna ask you to wear a mask just to be safe. You wanna try to maintain your physical distancing, wash your hands regularly, and anything else that the site might have. Primary reason for that is because again, we just wanna be safe. We wanna make sure that our sites stay open as long as possible. We don't wanna have to do the hybrid because we know a lot of folks are looking to do these volunteer experiences in person. Yeah. If you're doing virtual, I know at one point our RISE site was working with the students and mentoring and doing after school care virtually. We're asking that you could be paired with somebody else so that there's 2 people on the call as opposed to the one-on-one basis. Does that make sense? Any questions with that? No? We're near the end. So the last bit, it's just Noblehour, yeah? How many of you have seen this presentation about Noblehour? Raise your hand. So you know about Noblehour, yeah? Okay, if not, I'm gonna go very quickly, You'll come to this main portal. We'll ask you to click join. When you click join, you'll create an account. And by creating that account, you'll be able to have access to all of our volunteer opportunities. Before I even do that, from here, you can access the things that we have. So our COVID-19 task force, post-LIVA, again, Helping Hands for Forgotten Feet, RISE, all of these opportunities are located here. And we even have some opportunities that are external that you can still add here. The main impetus for you all using Noblehour is that one, you can keep track of your hours. And if you need it down the line, whether you're applying to residencies or other scholarship programs or what have you, you can use this as a resource tool to basically help boost your application, right? You can have an actual document and a signed letter from Simone stating that you have done X amount of hours for these different opportunities. That can kind of set you apart from other folks that you're saying that they're volunteering. Yes.
Another general question. Do SLLs have the option of launching the government?
Yes. So that's an excellent question. So if you are interested in a program that we don't have listed, that's how a majority of our programs actually start, is by a student interested in doing something. There's like an application that we have online that I can share with folks that are interested in starting something new. Simone and I aren't in the business of saying no. We're in the business of saying, how can we make this tight and long lasting, right? That's where we want to invest our energy, is that, there's going to be longevity in the program. And so if you are interested in starting something new, I would highly recommend reaching out to me, and I can definitely work with you to get some of those things started. But we do have programs that start fresh. I think actually our peace survey was actually something that was just started. And the reason why is because we had a student that was interested, and if Claudia's back there, she can tell you more about that. But yes, great question. Any other general questions? Yes.
So if you wanted to find like volunteering, like something quick, like again.
Yeah. So great question. Great question. So what I would say is here listed, you can also come volunteer, and it'll show all the information that we have here. If you go to Discover, you can see the opportunities that are located in Syracuse. And you might be able to filter by the days that they're available. If we have any special volunteer opportunities happening on the weekend, normally we'll post those on Noblehour and send you out via email. But if you're looking for something in particular, then we can definitely share it with you. Because again, we know that there are a lot of students that are already volunteering on their own, doing their own things. And so it's just a matter of helping to connect those dots and reaching out, and we can find other ways to share that as well. Great question.
I was just going to add, if you have a specific interest in a population or a part of Syracuse, you can email either one of us. We can help you craft what opportunities would be available for you to volunteer with that match your schedule.
Any other questions? This is great. Now, granted, even though we'll move on, I will say that you're still more than welcome. I'll still be here. You have everyone else here. You can come up and ask questions if you're like myself and kind of group shy. You can come up so one-on-one, and we can take care of you too. Yeah. And as regards to Noblehour, if you have any questions about Noblehour, please email me. I'm more than willing to kind of help walk you through this site. It can be a little confusing sometimes, but once you get the hang of it, it is very user-friendly. Okay. Great. With that being said, that is our spiel. If you have any questions, again, you can contact Simone Stewart. There's your email right there, or you can contact me, or just our general CCE account. Right. Thank you all for coming, and I will now invite you to walk through the back and talk to all of our opportunities. And we'll see you later. Peace out.